She has made the whole world laugh. She has made the whole world cry. She has won the Oscar, sold the tickets, carried the franchises, and done all of it with a warmth so genuine that millions of people feel like they personally know her. But there is one chapter of Sandra Bullock's life that she has spoken about only in fragments, quietly, carefully, always holding the most important part just slightly out of reach. Until now. Because what she has finally confessed about the man she loved and lost is the most honest and most heartbreaking thing she has ever said out loud. His name was Bryan Randall. And she met him the most ordinary way imaginable. It was January 2015. She needed a photographer for her son Lewis's birthday party. Bryan Randall was hired for the job. He showed up with his camera. She showed up as a mother trying to give her little boy a good day. And somewhere between the cake and the photograph something happened that neither of them was looking for. She has described it simply: he was the right human being. The one who didn't want anything to do with her life. And somehow that was exactly why she wanted him in it. He was not Hollywood. He was a photographer from Portland, Oregon, quiet, grounded, deeply Christian in a way that sometimes clashed with her own worldview and somehow made her love him more for it. He stepped into a ready-made family, Lewis and her daughter Layla, whom she adopted in 2015, and became their father without being asked. Without a title. Without a paper. She told Red Table Talk in 2021, "He is the example I would want my children to have." She called him a saint. She called him evolved on a level that is not human. And then she said the 5 words that the whole world heard and felt immediately. "He is the love of my life." They never married. She had been through that. The devastating public collapse of her marriage to Jesse James in 2010, discovering his infidelity while she was holding an Academy Award, while the world was celebrating her, had left marks she never pretended weren't there. She did not need a paper to be devoted, she said. She needed the right person. And Bryan was the right person. So she chose him every day without a ceremony. Without a ring. Without anything the world could photograph and file away. Just a woman and a man raising 3 children in a house full of love that nobody outside it was ever fully allowed to see. And then he got sick? ALS. A diagnosis so cruel and so final that the family made the decision together, immediately, unanimously, to keep it completely private. For 3 years Sandra Bullock cared for the man she loved as his body slowly failed him. She had said years earlier, "I don't need to be told to be ever present in the hardest of times. I don't need to be told to weather a storm with a good man." Nobody understood then what those words actually meant. She was already living them. Already sitting beside him in the dark. Already being the person he needed her to be, quietly, privately, without a single camera present. On August 5, 2023 Bryan Randall died. He was 57 years old. And Sandra Bullock disappeared from public life almost entirely. No interviews. No red carpets. No performances of grief for an audience. Just a woman going home to her children and closing the door. She has been coming back slowly. A podcast appearance with Keanu Reeves. A red carpet at CinemaCon in April 2026 alongside Nicole Kidman for the Practical Magic sequel, her first in 18 months. She stood on that stage and said returning felt like coming back to a home she had once lived in. The audience did not fully understand what she meant. But anyone who has lost the person who made a place feel like home, understood exactly. At 61 Sandra Bullock is not the same woman who stood in front of the cameras before August 2023. She is quieter. More deliberate. More certain about what matters. She loved a man who did not want anything to do with her life, and gave her the best years of it anyway. And she will carry that for the rest of hers.